Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's Monday, January 20th. As always, I'm joined by Chirimbes and Doug Upstone. Sometimes we cover some NBA. Not so tonight. We got a little college football. National championship. Apparently, there's a football game tonight. We'll get to that in 1 second. Free picks will have you covered. But before we get to that, like, subscribe, notification bells on so you know each and every day you put out little free pick videos here. All the time, me, Biller, Fargo, Chip, Scott Pritchard, Jim Feist, we got you covered all week long. So hit the notification bell, subscribe, leave a comment, let you know what you think about the free picks like today where we talk college football. But there's NBA. Tomorrow there's college basketball. There's apparently a couple NFL football games that we got ahead of time. We'll talk about those in a sec, but Let's oh, you know what? No. Before I even get to these guys, I either mention gamblersworld.net where you get all of our premium action. And after a nice winning weekend here, everybody who cashed easily, never in doubt, Kansas City -8.5. Nice, easy winner. If you had it, we're going to talk about that, about getting the right number and betting 5 minutes before tip off or kickoff or first pitch. Not the best. But for our premium action, gamblersworld.net, our 3 730 packages are all guaranteed. We show you a profit on that time, or we credit you back. Perhaps you want a day pass on a day like today. There's day basketball, college and NBA. There's some hockey, the football game, $69.99. You can't beat the day passes. They're really probably the best deal going, honestly, on loaded schedules. I'm just saying. The 7-day pack, 30-day pack is great for long-term because, great, it's nice you have a good day. But we're long-term guys. Look, I'm 50. I'm the youngest cat on the channel here, and these guys have been doing it for longer than me, and I've been doing it for 20 years. It's long-term, winning in this business. So get the 30-day, get the 7-day. 1 day is great. You see the leaderboards. We do it more than 1 day in a row. That's why we put it up there for you. Now, the gentlemen, Chip Chirimbes, Doug Upstone. I saw you guys last week. We're doing some NBA last week. Now it's college football, but I want to know how the weekend went, and then we'll jump into we'll talk about how we went, and we'll talk about the games in general, but how did you guys do? I'll start with you, Doug. How you did personally over the weekend, what you might have tonight and going forward if you've moved on to championship games, and then we'll go on to Chipper.
Sure. The weekend was pretty ordinary, to be perfectly honest. Nothing outstanding. Had some good wins, but also had some losses. So nothing fantastic. But mentioned the long term. Last 23 days. Start with the NBA. 12-4. The last 23 days. 23 days. 8-2 run in the NBA. College basketball. 34 and. I think it's 34-20. Yeah, 38-24 in college basketball. So on a nice overall run there. Hockey continues to do extremely well. 58-27 since October 16th. And in the college football, got the last game. I'm on a 24-14 run, and I have a play going in that game tonight. And I also have hockey. I got a two-pack for just $30 in hockey. And NBA, I got 2 games for just $29 today. Special price for the holiday and all the different things that are going on today.
Well, you heard that. Multiple games in hockey, NBA. Why not get them all on a 1-day pass? I don't know. Simple. There you go. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what KISS is. There we go. Not just a rock band or what you give to your loved one. You keep it simple. Multiple picks. And I got to love Monday because I got Mr. Ice. It's not even ice when Doug's that hot. He's going to melt the ice. It'll be water polo pretty soon. That's how well he is. And I got Mr. NBA, Chip Chirimbes with me, number 1 in the NBA guy. I say it every week on here, and I'll keep saying it.
Well,
folks,
NBA struggled this weekend. I got beat from 0-1 Saturday, 0-1 Sunday. Made it up for the football, swept the board Sunday with the football, and it came back on Sunday with the college basketball winner, a single play. And so we had a pretty good weekend. We're looking forward to, of course, a championship game tonight. And basketball's a grind each and every day. I have a college game and a pro game out there today. But, of course, our focal point is probably on the big football game in Atlanta.
Yeah, big game tonight. Again, Chip and Doug, premium picks at gamblersworld.net. Doug, number 2 in the ice. red hot, number one in the ice of late. And Chip Chirimbes, our top NBA capper. And who doesn't love NBA? This is the NBA. There's 4 football games left. Really 3. This game's over. It's Monday. Now it's time for other sports to take center stage, and 2 of the best right here with you at gamblersworld.net. I went 3-1 in NFL this weekend, which was nice, but I'm 94 and 88, but I guess I'm finishing strong. Had Casey in the under. I had the 8 there early in the week. I had under Rams game I thought was looking good, and then all heck breaks loose. Philly gets lucky. Everybody's loving this Philly team. You looked crap last week, and again, I'll give you that because Hurts come back from an injury, right? You don't know. Snow game, you had what, 3 or 4 big runs to get all your points. I don't know what I have in a quarterback with Hurts. So I had the under there, whatever. I ended up with the Bills. College basketball, I say I went 1-1, and I took a loss. Should have been a win. I mean, where's my bad beat refund? If I was 24, I'd be yelling and screaming. I had the under in the Michigan game, 20-something points in overtime, 26 points. Come on, man. Can you hit a free throw at the end of the game? What is going on here? Terrible. That's why. It is whatever. Yeah. So there's that. Let's talk some NFL recapping the weekend here, and we'll start with the Saturday games. Not really shocking. People are gonna be like, "Oh, Texans should have won this game," and the refs and this and that. Mahomes at home is now 17-3. Not even at home, just in the playoffs alone. The guy lost to Brady in overtime, and then they changed the damn rules so they could get on the field. Lost to Brady in the Super Bowl behind one offensive lineman who was playing with a gimpy leg, and then Joe Burrow, who, when he's healthy, the guy looks great and took his team to the Super Bowl. Are we really shocked that they won? You could say it was a bad game, this and that. We say, look at these holding calls. Kansas City gets it done. Washington, was it a bit of an upset? I don't know. I think that was a game everyone thought was a live dog. They're playing great. Detroit's defense banged up. Are we worried about Goff, right? I mean, why did the Rams trade him for a reason? And then we had the Rams game we just talked about in a blizzard there. I'm not that impressed with Philly. And Buffalo. Lamar's going to get his knocks on him. Oh, they can't win a big game. I mean, you're playing the Bills and the Chiefs and losing the playoffs. Mark Andrews, again, you can't pinpoint one guy. Bad fumble, dropped the 2-point conversion. They had 3 turnovers as a team. You're not going to win going in the road on that. That's not going to happen. Chip Chirimbes, thoughts? Anything really stick out with you this weekend with these games?
Kansas City knows how to win. These teams don't. Mahomes has not turned the ball over in any of the 7 division games they've played in the playoffs. Not once. Thrown for 2,100 yards, no interceptions. It's hard to beat when the other guys are making mistakes and silly mistakes, and the officials aren't helping a number of these clubs anyway. But that comes with the territory. It's like a boxer. You're the champion until someone beat you. And
they're going for 3 in a row.
Kansas City is getting we say a lot of the breaks, but they make them too. They're not making the mistakes these other teams do. Missed extra points, missed field goals, missed opportunities. So you got to save the pedigree right now. I was fortunate, I think, when we had Kansas City, but the safety at the end of the game, when he took a 7-yard drop the first time and took a knee, and then he did the second down, I heard him. I said he's going to give up 2 points here because otherwise, why didn't he just take a knee 1 yard and back of the line of scrimmage? Each time the ball was snapped, he went back 6-7 yards, and now. You can see it coming. And I think some people at the end, I know it closed 9.5. A lot of places out here in Las Vegas, we were able to get it out there earlier at 8 and 8.5. So it's great to win any way you can.
You're gonna folks. They're gonna run off the clock. Why are we gonna leave them time? Block punts. Crazy things have happened. Why give them an opportunity to score? It's not rigged. No, that is, let's burn the clock. And one last thing there, and I'll get to Doug. You mentioned catching the breaks and the refs and penalties. We can probably talk about this and, see what Doug thinks of it. The Mahomes dancing on the sidelines, because we saw, I think, who got tackled on the sideline. Like Lamar got clearly tackled outside. They didn't call it, where that would be a play rejection if it was Mahomes. These quarterbacks, if you're going to dance along the sidelines, I say it should be game on. I don't care if I'm whoever hitting him, I'm going to hit him as hard as I can. If you're going to penalize me, if he gets hurt, so be it. You can't, you either give up yourself and just clearly run out of bounds. You don't slow down to get an extra yard or two thinking the guy's going to let up. It's unfair. You come out of the hash marks, you're a runner. We saw Jeff Goff got waylaid on the interception. If that was Mahomes, there would be ejections. They would have took the interception back. They would have found something else like, roughing, no interception. They would have took it away from the guy. But anyway, sorry about that. My little mini rant there. You could add to my mini rant or just talk about the game in general, Doug.
No, I agree with you. I mean, you know what? It's just if you're in the field of play, you're fair game. And if you choose to stay in the field of play when you essentially are giving yourself up, well, there's an outcome. And I would agree. And even if it was an ejection, I would think that would be worth it for a couple of guys to do it and to show Mahomes, hey, you know what? You want to do that? You're going to get blasted, okay? And you're taking unnecessary hits, okay? And you're doing it, and you're hurting your team potentially by taking unnecessary hits. So I'm 100% agreement with you. If you want to do that nonsense, then just go right ahead. But something's going to happen at some point, okay? You're going to get it. As far as the other stuff, the Houston kicker, that was a solid kicker all year. Just the moment, however that works. Kansas City, you're right. They just win. And that's the biggest thing that they have going from them. I don't think, to me, there's no doubt this team is not as good as the last two champions. Now, I have no idea right now what their outcome is going to be, but this team does not have the same quality. Excuse me. The defense is as good, but offensively, they're just not there. So I have some, doubts about them going forward, but they got the job done. And, the other thing too, I put this on Twitter or X on Saturday, is that I guess as Americans, we literally forget what happened yesterday, unless it's that important to us. Did anybody watch Tom Brady play for 10 years with the New England Patriots? Okay. This guy got every call imaginable. Everybody hated the Patriots. Okay, it was so it's no different. It's just the next thing. You watch NBA. You watch.
They made a rule. They made a rule up for Brady.
Yeah. Two of them.
You watch NBA games. Okay, the defending champions more often than not. Who's getting the calls? Okay, that team. You watch a Major League Baseball pitcher. You watch a Major League Baseball hitter. The best in their sport. Do they get calls? Do they get strike calls? Does the batter get the benefit of the doubt? It's just the way that it is. So, we may not like it, but it's just factual. And so the easiest answer is that you got to do something to make yourself the champion in order for that to occur. So anyways, so yeah, I have to say, I was somewhat surprised that Washington was able to play as well as they did. And Jalen Daniels deserves a ton of credit for putting the ball on point, which is something Jared Goff could not do in the game. And wow, as fans, I don't know if you guys are that big of fans of any particular teams, but I've been there, some different teams I've had, and when you expect to go further and you lose that first game like that, as fans, wow, that is just absolutely devastating. It's a lot to handle. And, anybody that got Buffalo right yesterday, I had nothing on the game, so I didn't care, but anybody that had Buffalo right, congratulations. Anybody that had Baltimore, all I can say is bad luck, because that's how you got beat. Simple as that.
Yeah. And the Buffalo game was basically a pick 'em. They started as a 1-point fave, went to a 1-point dog. It was really anybody's ball game. Even
unless you have Lamar Jackson in there and he's going to give the ball up in a big crucial situation like he has time and again. He drops the ball, 2 interceptions. It's the same old story. He's great. What a talent. But he gives the ball up in these big games.
Yeah, just that big difference. And but he brought it back with 2 scores, late, which was fantastic. So anybody could say you could blame him. Yes, I guess he gets a certain.
He catches the ball, it's tied. He catches the 2-point, it's tied. He holds on to it, and you're not saying
it wasn't the greatest of pass either. And I've somebody said it was right in his breadbasket. He should have caught it, no question. But it wasn't the greatest of pass to be able to handle.
No, but it's a catch that Andrews would probably make 99 out of 100 times.
Oh, he's a great player.
Yeah. So
How
it's just,
about-
Jackie
let's-
Smith reminds me of Jackie
yeah,
Smith in the
good
Super
point.
Bowl.
It's a good one.
What are we doing here? Let's get to the fact of why are we throwing the ball in the elements when you got Derrick Henry?
Okay. Yeah.
I got to outsmart him first. You can't outplay him. You have to outsmart him.
This is, I mean, I had the Chiefs. I had the Ravens over the Chiefs last year at home, right? I saw Buffalo run all over Kansas City in Buffalo and nearly pull out a win. And Baltimore sitting at home waiting for them. They're softened up. They run the ball in the first quarter and nothing. And then they get cute. And then they get cute here with the game on the line. Why are you not running your Hall of Fame running back 2 yards? That guy eats 2 yards. Come on. What are they doing? This is – and it's – oh, Lamar's terrible. He catches the ball. It's in overtime. If they lose in overtime, is Lamar still crap? I mean, can the defense make a play here? I mean, the game is tied after all of – as much of mistakes as Lamar has made, the game is tied going to overtime, and yet he would still get the rap. Again, any quarterback's getting a rap, right? The quarterback takes the rap for every loss, and that's the way it is. And that's why you get $45 million.
One interesting point, though, that to remind people, I saw this yesterday. I had forgotten about this. Lamar is now 3-5 in playoff games. You know what Peyton Manning's record was after 8 playoff games?
3-5, exactly the same.
Yep.
But did Peyton Manning give up the ball like this guy has?
Oh, no, it's not a matter of giving up the ball, but
I mean,
he still got a lot of
every one of
games.
those losses that I think are directly related to his poor play, and I wouldn't have to say that for Manning. I don't know, but it just seemed I'm disappointed. I really am, because it just happened again. I thought this was going to be his time, even though I played against him. I really thought that he's still got to get over that. He's got to get over that hump. He really does.
Yeah,
He's losing to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, 2 peers, 2 MVPs. Peyton Manning was losing to Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger.
Manning lost to Brady year in and year out.
Exactly.
And he also had to deal with Rivers, who never won anything.
And he had Roethlisberger, who won Super Bowls. I mean, You're losing to teams that win Super Bowls or fellow MVP guys. I really can't. It's more. I get it. The elite, you step up. And he's 20. How old is he? He's 27 years old.
Yeah,
we're writing the guy off at 27.
I think he's still a young guy. I mean,
he's 27 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still has opportunities.
He's not 34.
I mean, some of the plays he makes on the run, he's just a great player. But he doesn't protect the ball in the big situations.
Four interceptions all year. I mean,
that's regular season.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm just saying. Goff had what, 6 or 7 all year too. I mean, he was.
He had 5 in one game.
Yeah,
they turned the ball over 5 times themselves, the Lions. So
yeah, that was the. I'd also like to for anybody watching, by the way, too, is that if you Sean mentioned the leaderboards. If you go there right now, you look at the 60-day. You're looking at You're looking at 3 of the 4 top guys. We're 2, 3, and 4 sitting here right now as after 60 days across all sports. So that's I think we're doing all right.
Again, I said this before. People think it's like 1 day, 2 days. I'm good. I'm hot. Dude, you got to do it day in, day out. We could win a day, we lose long term. That's what it's about. It's not just one single game. But we do got one single game tonight. The national championship game, apparently. Ohio State and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We're looking at a 9 in this game here. Total of 45.5. It's come down a little bit. It was 46.5 there. I got some first half totals here. It's 5 and a 23. If you want to go that route, team total 28 for the game, 17 for Notre Dame, 14 first half for the Buckeyes, 7.5 for Notre Dame. You hear a lot of stuff here, right? It's Notre Dame, great defense. They're going to win, better coach. You got to love the coach, right? We're going to throw out his ATS numbers versus a ranked squad and this and that. All right, you're playing USC, you're playing Clemson. Ohio State has a $20 million payroll on their team. I mean, this is like a low-end NFL payroll for their football team here. Crazy as it sounds. I got a side posted here. You can go. I'm number 2 in college football money. I got something posted there for that if you're interested. But I'm going to give out a bunch of props here today. But I want to start with Doug here, national championship. And you were at a national championship. And it wasn't like a 1944 game.
No.
We'll save that for Chip. When
No,
the stay in sports,
I wasn't.
we'll go back to the
wasn't-
stay in sports a long time ago. But you were at one back in the day.
No, I wasn't at one, but there's something. I had a situation that occurred. So first of all, I'll just let the teams that I like to keep the stuff. So 1977
Look at that.
championship. Dan Devine. Okay, they beat the thing I remember. They played Texas in the Cotton Bowl and beat them. I think it was 35-6. And at the time, the best defensive lineman in the country was Steve McMichael. Many of you might remember him from the Chicago
Bears. Steve McMichael.
Steve McMichael was the best defensive lineman in college football, and so he was going to destroy the Notre Dame offensive line. And instead, Notre Dame double teamed him, road graded him for 4 quarters. In fact, by the 4th quarter, they were using one guy, against him. So they destroyed him. So then 11 years later, with Lou Holtz, 1988, they beat West Virginia, rather handily. I think it was what was his name?
Major Harris.
Major Harris. There you go. So I do have a quick story about the game, though. So I'm watching the game. It was a weekday, January 1st. I don't remember what day of the week it was, but of course, everybody was off work. And so I was back in those days. I was in the golf business, and so we were closed. And my wife also worked with me at this golf store, and so she had gone in to rearrange some clothes and to do some different stuff. And so then the game's on. I think it was the 2nd quarter, early in the 2nd quarter. All of a sudden, I get a phone call from the alarm company, and it says we've had a door open at your store. You need to come in and come. The police will be there. See what's going on. So it's like, how could that be? I mean, I'm the last one that was there. I locked the door. There was nothing, I'm sure my wife locked the back door. She couldn't figure it out either. Okay. So I go there, and this is before the phone, you had to use regular phones in those days. And I get there, and the front door was open. The front door to the store was wide open. So a customer evidently had pulled on the door for some reason, even though it said closed. So I had to go down, get there, had to do all this and that. So it turns out my wife had decided to go get the mail, and the mailbox was out the front door of the store. She goes to get it. She does not lock it back in. So here I am, waited, from end of December till January 1st, Notre Dame, a potential national championship, and I had to take a half an hour out of the game, to go and to close the door. And I still make her every now and again. I make her apologize to me just to make me feel better. About that. But
you had to listen to that on the radio.
What's that?
You had to listen to it on the radio driving down there.
Well, no, I mean, I had it on. It was, but I wanted to watch the game. You got a team, your team, and then you got a chance to win a championship. And then, so that wasn't a lot of fun. I handled it better than I thought I would have, actually, to tell you the truth.
And here you think someone's breaking into the golf store. You think it's going to be Tim Knight and Al Cervic, Ronnie Dangerfield from Caddyshack trying on hats.
Yeah,
and it's nothing. It's just the mail on the floor.
It's just she because when I got home, she goes, "Oh my God," Anyways, so this sets up to be now the spread mentioned opened at 9.5, went down to as low as 8. And now it's back up to 9. On this one, there's some. I got a couple of tidbits I can throw at you here. Independent teams in bowl records of late, 18-7 straight up, and 17-6-2 against the spread. Ohio State bowl games, they've been very good, 17-9 against the spread, and if they're playing in bowl games in January. They are 8-1 and 7-2 against the spread. So that's of note. And the key number, even though the spread is as low as it is, the key number for the winning team is 31 points. Because if a team gets the 31, they are 20-3 and 19-4 against the spread. So it's just there's a couple of things for you to think about. We'll come back on some other stuff, but those are just some things to think about going into this game.
Chip Chirimbes, my guy.
Well, neither of these two teams are supposed to be here. I'm sailing along 11-2 bowls, 6-0 at best bets, 3-0 at games of the year, and I come up with 2 losers last week against these two teams, Penn State and Ohio State. Texas let me down like you don't know, but excuse me. The thing is, last October, I said to you guys right here that I thought Notre Dame had a shot to win it all, and you sort of scoffed at me. And then,
Not me.
after the Ohio State lost to Michigan, I said that they have to save the Ryan Day, and they have to win the national championship, or he's gone, or at least appear in that game. And yet, I bet against both these teams. What an idiot! I can't believe it, because I really thought Texas was the side last week. There was just so much on Ohio State. And I can do a little Sean bit here and say cry about 75-yard touchdown with 2 seconds to go before the half ends, and you got a first down on the 1, and you're calling the play where you're throwing the ball back to the 7 and 8 yard line, which is ridiculous. But that's why we call it gambling, and this is what we do, and this is what we've signed up for. I think it's a great matchup here as far as the Irish are concerned, getting points. I mean, is it 11, 12, 13 in a row? They just continue. They lost that game to Northern Illinois by missing 2 field goals and having Riley Leonard fumble the ball once and have 2 interceptions. And otherwise, maybe this line would have been a little bit different, but Ohio State's been so dominant. And I think that the general consensus is that Notre Dame's only chance is if this game stays under the total. It's impossible for them to get into a shootout with this team. Jeremiah Smith, the freshman of the year and the receiver, is setting all kinds of national records. And there is one player that possibly can help slow him down, and that is a defensive back, cornerback, freshman defensive player of the year, and Leonard Moore. Okay. Freshman defensive player of the year, so cornerback, and he's going to go 1-on-1 with him, and that may be the tail of the game. So I do, like I said, had one prop for you here, and I'm not a prop guy, but in college football, like we said, a sack is considered a rushing attempt. So this Riley Leonard is one of their better runners, and with Love being hobbled, I think Leonard's going to go over rushing attempts.
14.5 for that cat, Riley Leonard.
Wow. And so that even telling you that they really expect him to either get sacked 8 or 9 times or to run the ball an awful lot.
Well, he's going to, the line's 9. So you think he's going to have to fall back and throw a little bit because a group I kind of follow, they have the over 27.5 passing attempts for him. So they think he's going to be throwing the ball and, they'll be trailing. So he's going to run some, but if he's back there, a sack is a rush attempt here.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a lot for a guy.
That's
I mean,
huge.
he runs, but not
a quarterback. That's
14.5. 14.5. And yes, I did scoff when you said Notre Dame. I was like, these guys can't beat a good team. And all right, they edged out Penn State. You beat a backup quarterback in Georgia, Georgia's.
And I've been against them both. What an idiot.
Those are those. But you know what? You can pull a Sean and be like, what the heck? Gave up a 75-yard touchdown with 2 seconds left. That's okay. That's like, that is
I wasn't
not
really worried about it. I honestly didn't think it was going to matter. I didn't. I never felt Texas was, no matter what the score was, I thought they were going to win that game outright.
Well, and the one kid from Ohio State, like the top receiver, everybody was like all over. He had what, like 1 catch? The guys.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I got several props, and we'll get to Doug first here with what you got going on. You got a prop as well in this game.
Yes, I got I agree with Chip completely on that with Riley Leonard for over 14.5 yards or 4 attempts, on that one. I think that there's no doubt about that. And at the same time, Riley Leonard had 16 rushing touchdowns this year. So I'm going with him, plus 130 for a rushing touchdown. And on the Ohio State side, Ibukia, I can never say his name exactly correct. You know who I'm talking about. It's the guy at the other side of the field from Smith. Okay, you'll see his name. His actual receiving yards have gone up dramatically. I think it was last week. It was 57.5, and it's up to 61.5. So I still like it though. 61.5, and I also like him for an anytime touchdown in this one at plus 110.
There you go. I got a gaggle. So listen, get your little pen out. If you're watching, we're going to timestamp the props here. Riley Leonard over 14.5, both Doug and Chip like. Doug is also adding the Ubeka, whatever the guy's name is, Igubaka.
Emeka. That's his first name.
and a Riley anytime touchdown. So 2 anytime tutties. There you go. Now I have several I rolled in here with for prop wise, and I made a little banner for them because nobody butchers names like me because I don't even watch these games. I'm all about sitting here trying to pronounce names. I missed the pronunciation class. All right, we'll start with Notre Dame and Williams over 24.5 receiving yards. This is the old running back out of the backfield kind of guy here, right? Little dump off Danny's play here. So we'll go over 24.5 receiving yards for him. Ohio State, I got 1 over. My guy G. Scott. I cashed it in the Texas game. I'm going to come back to it here, 17.5, because I got unders for all the other receivers here. Tate, there's Buka and Smith, all unders. Because I think this is a low-scoring game. I know it's easy to say it's going to be Ohio State's going to come in here and put up. I don't think so. I think Notre Dame defense is all right. I think Ohio State's going to have – you're going to have a first quarter where you're going to have the feeling out period, right? This is a national championship. It's not Ohio State running to drop a 45 piece. It's going to be kind of a slow grinder. All these guys are not going to hit their props. If that's the case, Notre Dame doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell. Sorry, fellas. If all these guys are going over this prop total and they're throwing the ball left and right, this is 45-13, and it's Alabama all over again. And Notre Dame's like, well, I told you, Notre Dame, you got to open up your recruiting a little better and ease up on the grades in school to get better guys to come in here. And it doesn't hurt that the other team's paying $25 million to players to come play with them. So I'm going to go under the Tate 40.5, Egbuka 61.5, and Smith 81.5. There you go. I have a bunch of unders, and the 2 overs for the Notre Dame back and the little tight end guy for the Ohio State Buckeyes for me as well. So again, they're all here. We leave them up. You can come back on the timestamp, find all the free picks. Riley Leonard ×2 over 14.5. Anytime tutties for Riley and Egbuka. What else do you want from us? I'll tell you what we want. Tell them, Chip. What do you got? It's
right,
this day. You got a this day sports for us?
Today's a big date, and it'll be in people's memory not only because of the inauguration and because of MLK's holiday, as well as and on this date in 1950, January 20th, Leon Hart from Notre Dame, Doug, was the #1 draft pick by the Detroit Lions. So there's kind of some pertinence there. In 1968, on this date, I listened on the radio, Doug. You talked about the game, Notre Dame. UCLA and Houston met in the Astrodome.
Yep.
70,000 people were there. Elvin Hayes put on quite a show against an injured UCLA center named Lou Alcindor. Houston wins that game by 2 points, 71-69, and they were ranked #1 until they met in the NCAA finals, and UCLA won by 30 points. And that was a game where, if you remember, Lou Alcindor had goggles on because his eye had been scratched. Yep. They had won 47 consecutive games entering that game. In 1991, Jim Feist and I, on this date, attended Candlestick Park and watched the Giants kick 5 field goals, defeating San Francisco 15-13 on their way to Super Bowl 25 victory over Buffalo in Tampa Bay, when Whitney Houston put everyone in tears by singing the national anthem before the game. This one's for you, Doug. 1974. College basketball game, Essex Community College, 210. They beat Englewood Cliffs 210-67 before the 3-point shot was instituted into basketball. And 4 years ago today, Dave Campbell was hired.
That's New Jersey, Essex County, and Englewood's New Jersey.
Is that
unless there's other Essex?
Yeah,
was it right. New Jersey?
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was like California or Texas, but I didn't delve that far into it. 210 points, and there's no 3-point shot at that time.
You guys drop it dead on the court. How the hell are they scoring that many points?
I would think they pressed a little bit. Probably
210 points.
Well, the other side scored 67, and this is in 40-minute games, right? I mean, they're college games.
Yeah, that's
210 points in a game.
That's 5 points a minute.
That's that's like the Loyola Marymount defense, if you remember back in those days with Paul Whitehead as the coach.
Yeah,
just they played a lot of 100 to 100 type games.
Oh, until Magic took over.
Yes, Yep. The a couple.
I'm trying to dig into that. Go ahead, Doug.
Okay,
We'll
a couple more last points I give you on tonight's game. Just some things to think about. Is that title favorites? Okay, of more than 5 points in title game are 5-11 against the spread. Okay, so that's something to consider. One thing that I have not heard much about, and maybe you guys have, I don't watch much television on this stuff. To me, my personal opinion, it's a little bit more noise than I prefer. These teams met last year, okay? Notre Dame and Ohio State. And Ohio State won in Columbus 17-14 as 14.5-point favorites. 13.5-point favorites. And they outgained Notre Dame by 5 yards in that game. So that's something to keep in mind, just about with the point spread the way it is. And also, if Notre Dame is revenging a loss, okay, and the loss has to be within the course, of a year, they're 14-0-1 against the spread. Okay, so that's something also to consider. Then
money line.
And then the other aspect here, national championship favorites, I believe, have won and covered the last 5. And previous to that, they had lost 6 straight against the spread. So obviously these games have, at least to this point, have tended to come in runs. So does the run continue, or does it end today? We'll find out tonight.
Again, player props, Riley Leonard over 14.5 rushes, anytime touchdown for Leonard, anytime touchdown Igubaka. I'm going for Williams, Notre Dame over 25 receiving yards, G. Scott over 17.5 receiving yards, and a bunch of under receiving yards for Ohio State. Tate 40.5, Igbuka 61.5, and Smith 81.5. Gamblers wrote down that for the premium stuff. And I'm going to close with this and then get out of here. New York Times article dated January 21st, 1974 from the archives. Scoring over 100 points in a game has been the rule this season for Essex County College, but the Newark, New Jersey school, told you, reached that just total in the first half Saturday night in Newark, then outdid itself. Leading Englewood 110-29 at halftime. They came back the last 5 minutes in pursuit of the national junior college record set of 202 by Allentown, PA Business College. The game was broadcast over WBGQM FM Newark, and we told at halftime we could break it with 100 points, said Coach Cleo Hill. The players asked if we could have a shot, and I said, it's okay. The fans wondered why we were applying pressure late in the game, but they erupted when announced we had a chance for the record about 4 minutes to go. A starting guard, Tom Paulin, hit 13 of 17 shots, led to stretch dive. Most points in a half by junior college in Region 19 history. There you go. I knew it was Jersey when I heard it. That's a county college in Englewood.
I wonder if the coaches shook hands after the game.
Like that. I mean, that 110-29. We talk about these cupcake schedules early in November, December. You see some of these games layups, and you see like 116 to like 39s. What do you say?
That's a women's game,
right? Like, I mean, but not even winning. You see that between teams in Power 5 conferences in women's games sometimes. It's 56-19. But what do you that's another show. That's another show, folks. We could go on and on with that. But Gamblers Road that go get our premiums. We got national championship game covered for tonight. NBA from Mr. Chip Chirimbes. NHL for Mr. Hockey, Doug Upstone. There you go. Like, subscribe, notification bells on. Back tomorrow with Matt Fargo, myself, Brian Bittler. It's got something going on, but college basketball tomorrow, you don't want to miss out. See everybody tomorrow. Chip, Doug, good luck tonight. I'll see you guys later this week. Take it easy.